Hi, we're Rich and Jackie from Early Retirement Wanderlust.
We are currently on a 7-week backpacking trip around Thailand, and at the moment we are on the beautiful tropical island of Koh Lipe.
And we are about to board the ferry behind us to go further north to the island of Koh Mook.
So here we are on Koh Mook, and what a beautiful place this is. The journey was a little bit crazy. It was so loud, my ears are absolutely ringing.
It was 2 hours on the speedboat, but actually it was really, really cool because the wind kept blowing through. Richard didn't like it, but I thought it was fab.
And we've just realised now that Koh Kradan, where we are staying in the next few days, was actually the ferry stop before, so we are going to have to go back to it. Tut-tut.
So Koh Mook so far just looks absolutely stunning. It's got more hills up on the middle of the island, and there was lots of crags and cliffs on the way in on the boat. It does look beautiful. We can't book into our accommodation though, I don't think, for a couple of hours, so we're probably going to have to dump the bags and explore a little bit by the beach. We are on Koh Mook, and our little bungalow that we'd had hired through booking.com on the beach our bungalow was okay, but the one next to it has had the roof caved in by a coconut tree falling on it. So they've offered to give us a different bungalow, and this is just amazing. You need to come and have a look. So we should have had a tiny little bungalow. It didn't have aircon. It would just had a little outside toilet and shower, which this one still does. But this is one of their newer bungalows that they've just finished, and it is just fantastic. It's got the most gorgeous wood trim everywhere. It's got aircon. It's got a fridge, and then you need to come out the back because you need to see the shower room. It's just fab. How cool is it in here? Richard can't wait to do Rate My Shower. Morning.
Morning.
We had the most amazing night last night. We went down to the resort restaurant for a meal. It's set on the beachfront with the most beautiful lighting, and it just has such calming ambient music, and the food was delicious. It's just the most perfect idyllic resort.
It feels really well polished, and the restaurant is just one example of that. The food was good quality, home cooked, almost cooked by grandma food, which was amazing, but just the little touches of the service, top class. And then that just spread through the entire resort, and we had such a peaceful night last night. It was gorgeous.
We arrived at sort of lunchtime yesterday, so we had a bit of a mooch around the resort. Koh Mook is a tiny little island. There isn't a huge amount here, which actually suits us. We chose it because it's such a quiet island.
It's a really strange feel. It feels really sort of underdeveloped, and yet the resorts, once you get into them, feel really developed. But it's an odd mix that's hard to explain, and it's not something that we've experienced before. But we're absolutely loving it. But what we've got to do today is we've got to find a beach where we can swim at.
Yes, so we can't swim at this beach just here. So we are going to get a tuk-tuk, which the resort has organised for us, to go to Charlie's Beach. The tuk-tuks on the island are 50 baht per person, no matter how far or where you're going on the journey. So for 100 Thai baht, we can go to Charlie's Beach, which is about £2.50. It's 4 kilometres away, and it's got a couple of restaurants and bars there. So we're going to see how we get on.
So we have had just another amazing breakfast. It is probably one of the best breakfasts we've had in Thailand, and for me it's probably one of the most intriguing breakfasts I've had throughout my life, really. It is just amazing.
You get a choice when you come. You can choose from 4 different things. So you start off with a bowl of fruit. I had an omelette this morning, which was lovely. And you get French toast as well, served with kiwi fruit on it and a bit of granola. It was absolutely gorgeous.
Whereas I've just embraced my inner Thai and I've gone full send on the breakfast. I had a Thai omelette over boiled rice, and it came with an accompaniment of a curry that you could drizzle over that, which was just amazing. Don't knock it till you've tried it. The combination of sweet, sour, spicy, it was just all in, and yeah, it's changed my life forever.
As you can see from the video, we also had a really great day yesterday at Charlie's Beach. The weather didn't really play ball. It was a little bit cloudy, but actually that was quite nice. It wasn't as hot as it has been. It was just a really nice chilled vibe. There wasn't as much there as I thought there would be. I thought the resorts would be a little bit posher, but it suited our needs for the day.
And then on the flip side, the exact opposite to a chilled vibe was getting there and getting back. The tuk-tuk ride, wow. That was a life-changing experience in itself. I have never been so terrified in all my life. They don't believe in roads around here, and the guys that are driving the tuk-tuks would make the best motocross drivers.
To be fair, there was 3 kilometres of almost like brick roads, so that was fine. But the last kilometre down to Charlie's Beach, it had rained quite a lot. There was huge, deep ruts everywhere and lots of tuk-tuks trying to sort of pass each other. It was definitely interesting, but it was worth it.
And then last night we went for a lovely little sunset stroll before dinner up to the sort of posh portion of the island, and Jackie managed to twist my arm into cocktails.
We both had a mango daiquiri, which was gorgeous, and it was 200 Thai baht, which is £5 for 2 cocktails, so it's £2.50 each, bargain. The really fab thing about that walk, though, as we were walking into the Posher Resort, they had some different kinds of trees, and we saw two, I'm thinking they're toucans, but they were absolutely gorgeous, and they didn't matter that we were there. They just carried on with what they were doing, searching for berries, but we watched them for about 10 minutes just darting about in the trees.
So today's going to be a bit more active, or we think it's going to be a bit more active. We have got a boat trip booked to the Emerald Cave. Not sure what that's going to be like. It looks pretty good from all the research we've seen, but it involves a bit of a swim into a cave. Should be good, but that's us. We're going to be a little bit more active today.
When we left you yesterday, we were about to go to the beach and have a morning on the beach, and then we were going on a trip to the Emerald Caves, and we did have a lovely day.
The Emerald Caves, what an experience that was for a variety of reasons.
The entrance to the cave, I think we went almost at high tide, so there was lots of space to get in there, but it was quite narrow for me, and it was really dark when you were right in the middle of the caves. But by the entrances, the water was just so blue. I've got a feeling that's why it's called the Emerald Caves. It was just that deep bluey green colour. It was stunning.
And the good thing for Jackie is that she couldn't see the bottom, so she couldn't work out exactly how deep it was. It was a bit weird going through the caves, and it felt a little bit claustrophobic, really. But then it just opened out into this huge sort of cavern that was just like a microclimate, really, within the mountains.
Yeah, it was almost like a little hidden beach. It had trees literally growing out of the rock faces. It was very, very tropical. There was these huge black butterflies fluttering around. I couldn't quite capture them on video because we only had the action cam with us. We didn't take our phones, obviously, because we were swimming through the caves first. But it was absolutely stunning.
And one of the other things that we could actually capture on camera was the amount of Asian tourists in life jackets. It was heaving when we first arrived. You sort of came out into this, like I say, serene place, but then seemingly there was 50 people there.
It turns out most of those 50 people were in one tour party. So at the time when they decided that it was their time to leave, the hidden cove and beach just emptied out. So we did have a few minutes where we had it to ourselves. There was this huge snake of about 35 people just weaving their way back through the caves, which was quite comical to see. But to be fair, I thought safety in numbers as you go through those caves. You wouldn't want to lose where you were.
But likewise, I'm not entirely sure how many of them could actually swim. So the poor guides, they were towing this snake of people through. It was, like we say, a surreal experience. But yeah, lovely. We wouldn't have missed it for the world, but it was very touristy.
So we've come to the end of our time at the tropical Koh Mook resort, which has been absolutely fantastic. It is the most wonderful place.
We are going to do a hotel or resort review video, so we're not going to sort of steal that thunder, but we would thoroughly recommend it to you. It is such a quiet resort. It's not lively in any way. It's ideal for couples or families, and yeah, we've just had an absolute blast here.
So that's it. We're moving on today. We are going to an even smaller island called Koh Kradan, and we've got to get a speedboat in about an hour's time, so we're going to have to pack up and get going.
An indication of how small it is? Koh Kradan does not have any roads at all, and it's got about 4 hotels. We're booked into the cheapest one. I think we're in a little beach hut, but we will see how we go. So here we are, welcome to Kradan. It's 9:30 on a Monday morning and the place is absolutely deserted. We've got it to ourselves. It is probably one of the most beautiful places we've been. It is voted the world's most beautiful beach, allegedly, by some organisation or other. I'm not sure about that, but it's pretty stunning and we've just had 24 hours of it absolutely to ourselves. We thought the tour boats would be coming in because it was a little bit busy yesterday, but I think that was because it was a Sunday, whereas now there's still no visitors. So, desert island to ourselves.
So we've been on this beautiful island of Koh Kradan for the last 2 days, and it is just so calm and quiet. It is just idyllic.
It's very different to anything that we've experienced before. The island has absolutely no infrastructure, so you have to get the boats here. There are no roads, there are no vehicles. In some respects, I think up until recently, there was limited amounts of electricity, and it is like living on a little desert island with 1 or 2 aspects of luxury.
There are probably only about 5 resorts on one long stretch of beach, ranging from the quite posh and expensive Marley resort right down at the bottom end that's got really great views and a very quiet seafront, to the Kradan Beach Resort that we're staying at, which is nearer the pier, so it's just that little bit busier. It's where the boats come in and out, the day trippers come there, but it's been quite an experience.
One of the things that we read prior to coming to the island was that it does get quite busy during the course of the day, we're in early season at the moment, and it was quite busy on Sunday when we arrived, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. There was a lot of long-tail boats that come because there's a really good snorkeling area just at the north of the island.
But then pretty much by 3 o'clock every day, the whole island empties out and it's just left with the people that are staying in the resorts.
There is quite a limited choice of food and drink places. Obviously, there's only 5 resorts, so there's 5 restaurants. But they're actually really nice. It's a little bit more expensive on the island. All of the meals are probably £1 more expensive than we've had anywhere else. But that still means last night we had a really gorgeous meal. We had 2 lots of chicken fried cashew nuts and rice. I had a margarita, Richard had 2 beers, and it still only came to about £18.
So outside the resort hotels, there is absolutely nothing. You have to walk down the beach to get to them. There is a national park centre, but we've not really seen that very much populated at all. And there is what they call a mini mart, but it's really just a collection of oddities. The only place to get cool drinks is actually in the bars, which is a little bit frustrating because we couldn't get anything cool for the room. But onto that, there was no point getting anything cool for the room because there was no fridge anyway, so...
Yeah, so we'll talk about our resort. We booked it specifically because most places on the island are really expensive to stay. They are well over £100 a night. And this one came up, I think it was about £40 per night. We did read in the reviews that it would be quite basic. It's got not a huge amount of facilities in the room. It's only got a fan rather than aircon. But I think we were a little bit surprised at just how basic the room was.
Yeah. It's, to put no finer point on it, it's like a little tin shack, which is fine because we are in a beautiful place. And one of the compromises that we definitely knew we had to make in the fact that we have the luxury of being out here for 7 weeks, but one of the compromises is that we can't actually afford to keep blowing the budget night after night after night. And the posher resorts on this particular island were just way out of our price range.
So the main thing I think I found hard in our room is that when we first arrived, it had no sheets on the bed. It was just the bed made with a bottom sheet and what I thought were 2 beach towels, or a towel and a beach towel on it. When we went to reception, she said, oh yes, the blue one is actually your sheet. So basically we were in twin beds with a big bath towel as our sheet, which actually was fine, a bit more rustic than we thought it would be. But I suppose what I will say is, it is a beautiful island. We went for the budget range accommodation and we did get that, but it didn't spoil our trip. We have had a fab time here. If you were coming for a special occasion, if it was your honeymoon or somewhere, I would definitely recommend. There are a couple of really beautiful resorts further down the beach and well worth it, even still at about £150 to £200 per night. You are in the most idyllic place.
And we've definitely learned from that we need to pick where we decide to allocate our budget. And I think on reflection, we probably got this a little bit wrong. However, where we didn't get it wrong is I cannot wait to share this with you. It's Rate My Shower. Welcome to the Kradan Beach Resort on Koh Kradan. As you can see, it's a rather basic bathroom arrangement with elements of al fresco bathing. Always nice to see a Thai bum gun to look after the local sewage system. Also notice the interesting choice of decoration. A basic sink going for the distressed look. It's always nice to see a towel rail, but note the interesting ventilation feature with added bug net, which is probably mitigated by this large open gap in the outside of the building. A nice bamboo ceiling leads into a rustic shower area. Never forgetting the little luxuries. There's no need for temperature regulation here, just a straight cold shower. A perfectly adequate shower head. A nice nod to Rate My Shower hook issues with a nail in the wall for hanging things on. A very interesting drain system through the rear wall. Not sure where the water goes thereafter. So, in summary, overall strengths with space and a constant supply of albeit cold water. It's let down by cleanliness, no hot water, the temperature of the room is what it is outside, and the mystery drainage system.
Overall, a score of 22 out of 50 for the rather too rustic Kradan Beach Resort.
So that is it for this video. We are moving on again today. We are going up to Koh Lanta. We've got 2 nights there, and that's as far as we have planned, to be fair. But what I would actually say is we have loved both Koh Mook and Koh Kradan. They are 2 really quiet, beautiful tropical islands. And if you're after something more quiet in the Thailand travels, then these are the places for you.
So that's it for this week. If you want to see me get completely outside my comfort zone, then you're going to have to tune in next week, because at this moment in time, we have got no idea what we're going to do apart from the next 2 nights accommodation. And that is, to be honest, freaking me out.
Your spreadsheet is blank.
But that's it. We will see you next week somewhere. See you later. Bye.
Bye.